Hello everyone, I am José Pita Juarez and I'm recording this from sunny Mexico. And well, before anything, I would like to take a moment to thank my dear friends Antigoni Goni and Michele Rosaclot for inviting me once more to this fabulous idea that is the Volterra project. This edition is going to be entirely digital, so well. Otherwise, I would be in Italy right now, but no matter. So, well, let's dig in right into it. Today, we're gonna talk about a few ideas and tips that are gonna help you improve your home videos. And I want to divide this in two parts. The first one is just ideas and suggestions that don't require any additional investment on equipment that will instantly improve your videos. And secondly, we will talk about some additional equipment you can acquire to make more professional videos. So well, let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with lighting. Um, the first thing we need to understand is that there are two types of light as a general rule: artificial lighting and natural lighting, such as the one I'm using right now. And within that, there's also harsh light, direct light, such as sunlight, direct sunlight, and diffuse light, such as the one I'm using right now, which is under the shade of a big palm tree. We should always try to get diffuse light because it's much more flattering. Harsh light, on the other side, creates harsh shadows on people's faces, which are very unflattering. So just keep an eye out. Always try to get diffuse light, no matter the source, even if it's artificial, natural. And if you're outdoors, such as I am right now, um, a good place you can get diffuse light is under the shade of big trees. Again, such as myself, I'm right now under the shade of a palm tree. Other sources of natural lighting are windows when we're indoors, such as I am right now. And again, the same principle applies. Avoid harsh light. Um, Windows that point north or south are especially helpful for this purpose because direct sunlight never leaks through them. So it's a very flattering, uh, soft light. Right now I have two big windows to my right, and as you can see, having it to either side of you works very nicely. Another way you can do it is also if light from the window is right in front of you. There is something, however, that you should always avoid, and that is backlit situation. This is a very common mistake when you look at homemade videos. Having a window behind you. And you have to understand that a camera sensor works very differently from the human eye. If you were to be standing right where the camera is right now, you would see me fine, but cameras don't work that way. We have to light ourselves very well in order for the camera to do a proper job of making a decent rendition of us. So avoid this situation. Another situation that you should be wary of is mixing different types of lighting because different light sources have different colors. So for example, daylight has a bluish tint to it. And if you have artificial lighting that's a different color, well, you get weird coloring such as I have right now. You see often this when people have artificial lighting and they have a natural light source close by. It can be a window, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but sometimes either the window or rather whatever is outside the window looks weird as far as colors go, or the person looks off. So that's because the camera can't decide on what is the right white balance, or that is to say, how colors should look. So to avoid that, regardless if you're using a camera or a cell phone, just try to use one type of lighting. You'll avoid all of those problems. So this is not an ideal situation. Right now I have a softbox to my right, and I have two big windows also to my far right. And as you can see, there's some sort of conflict as far as color goes going on here. Well, that's why. Okay, let's talk about artificial lighting for a second. So, the best and most simple way to use artificial lighting is to just use one light source, one lamp or whatever it is that you have from about 45 degrees from your face. This is a very flattering look and it will make you look great. That's exactly what I'm using right now. I'm using a softbox to my right, and it is angled at about 45 degrees from me. So well, and you know, the same considerations apply. There are different colors of artificial lighting, so if you're using multiple sources, as I am right now, I'm using these lights to light all the studio. Make sure they're as close as possible to your main light source. Otherwise, the colors are gonna come out looking weird, and we don't want that. Or if you can't have matching light sources, then just use one, and it'll look much better. Okay, so now that we're here, we can also talk about the next topic, which is how to compose your frame. That is to say, how you arrange elements within the picture you're going to be recording. And that is important because the object of the video is, well, it must be you, you playing. Nothing else must subtract attention from the viewers. So if anything is in the way of that, well, you just have to remove it. That doesn't mean you have to be shooting from a blank wall, although of course you can do that as well. You can also do it in a place you like that tells a story about your personality or your project. Just remember that it must not compete for the viewer's attention. In the end, it is you, the main subject. Okay, so to finish off this section, I would like to show you an example. Last night I recorded myself, and I recorded myself because due to the confinement caused by the COVID virus, I couldn't go out to record any of my professional friends. So anyway, sorry for that. And we're gonna put to test all of these things that we've talked about: composition, lighting, and we're gonna talk about something that, of course, you've noticed. What with the confinement, every single one of us has recorded himself at home, and that is sound. If you're at home, you don't necessarily have a home studio. So just a brief guideline, just try to record when there is the least amount of sound. Generally that is at night. And also, if you decide for whatever reason to record during day, just be very attentive to some sounds like the chirping of birds or insects, especially in the summer, because after a while humans stop listening to that, but a microphone doesn't. And if you're recording in such a way that you're gonna use different takes and then put them together, those things, since they're random, they're gonna show as jumps. So something to take into consideration. So okay, let's go then and take a look at the example I did yesterday. Okay, so this is the setup I used. I used a softbox angle 45 degrees for myself. I did it last night, so there was no natural light. The camera just looking straight ahead at me. And here we can see what I told you about composing the image in such a way that the background does not distract or compete from attention from the viewer. Now it's a great time to talk about the use that you're going to be giving to these videos. So, for example, auditions and exams, it's a frontal take with no edits. So, well, it's not particularly difficult to attain that, just as we have right now. But if you're going to be using for social media and other, let's say, more artistic uses, then you can be a bit more bold as far as the takes that you can make. And there are a number of takes that I have used over the past few years that work very nicely. I'm going to be showing you some examples right along. And now this brings us to the last topic, and that is how you make the videos. What I mean by that, if you want to make a video with many takes, that's going to be much more artistic and it's going to look with a higher production value, there are several ways to go about that. The easiest one is to have multiple cameras, but that itself brings up a couple of issues. If you're using cameras that are from a different brand or a different model, they're gonna look different, even if you have the exact same settings. And that's just how different cameras or cell phone manufacturers process color. And there's nothing you can do about that, that's just the way it is. And you can match them later in post-production, but it takes time. And also, having matching cameras can be very expensive too. The other way you can make a nice video with multiple takes, having just one camera, is making several takes with that same camera. What do I mean by that? So first off, you do the main take, like frontal, like the one I'm doing right now, and then you process that video, you edit it if you do multiple takes of the same piece until you have the final audio. Then with that, you put that over a speaker and then play over it. And that is actually how big production, commercial music videos are done. They're just doing playback. And a lot of people are somewhat reluctant to try that at first, but believe me, it works fantastically. It's not hard at all, you just have to practice it for a day and you'll have it mastered. And there is an enormous advantage to doing playback, and that is that after you make that take, you can do a lot of takes on top of that audio, and all of them are going to be perfectly synchronized, and that is very important. And also there's this advantage, you can try bolder takes. You can go really close on either hand and it will not distract you because you know already that you have the audio. You just have to practice so that it's synchronized, but that's it. You can make some very wonderful takes. I'll show you some examples. So yes, that is a way that you can make some very nice videos using just one camera or a cell phone, whichever you have. Okay, finally, we're gonna talk about a couple of suggestions if you want to invest some more money to make more professional videos. So first off, we need to talk about how is it that you're going to use the camera. What I mean by that is how long are you going to make your videos, because that will define what kind of camera is best for you. If you're going to make very long videos, a video camera, and by long I mean longer than 30 minutes, say you record a whole concert without any pause. If that's your plan, then definitely get a dedicated video camera. But if you're going to use it for short videos, the way to go, in my opinion, is interchangeable lens camera, such as the one I'm using. Why is this? Well, you can change lenses, and that opens up a whole array of possibilities. And with those lenses, you can get some very nice effects, such as background blur. And also, they have much bigger sensors, so they suck up a lot more light. So in poorly light situations, they look much better. And well, I mean, most concert halls are poorly lit. I mean, they're lit well enough for the human eye, but cameras sometimes have a hard time keeping up. So you can get a much better performance with a interchangeable lens camera. I'll give links to whatever I find right now that is the most value for your money. I'm not married to any kind of brand. I just, when I buy my equipment, I just look at whatever gives me the most for my money. Okay, so I happen to use Canon M5 with several lenses, but the ones I use the most for video are the 32mm f1.4, the 22mm f2, and I also have my big camera, which is a Canon EOS R, and the lenses I use the most for video are, well, my Carl Zeiss Milgauss Distagon 50mm f1.4 and the RF28-70 f2L lens. That's just what I personally use, but anyway, on to audio. So there are two ways to go about this. The convenient and fast way, and the higher quality, more professional way. So if you just want to publish your video as soon as you can, the best way to go is to have a microphone that goes directly into your either cell phone or camera. That is exactly what I'm doing right now. I have a Rode VideoMic Pro mounted on my camera. So these microphones have gotten very good over the years. They by no means are as good, as a couple of large diaphragm microphones. However, the advantage is that the audio goes directly to your camera. It's already synced in. You don't have to do anything. And for social media and most uses, they are fine. Okay, so now, what's the other way? Well, if you want to really invest into audio equipment, there are a number of options. I'll just give you a list of the ones that I use. Disclaimer, when I need very high quality audio, I don't do it myself. I call a very good friend who's an excellent audio engineer, and he handles the audio and I just handle the video. And here are his suggestions. Okay, so here it goes. He uses a Sound Devices Mix Pre 10T, a couple of Rode NT5. He uses a Magic Pair. He uses a Warm Audio 47JR, large diaphragm, multi-pattern microphones, a Rode NT1 with a shock mount, and for monitoring all that he uses a Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro, and Koenig and Mayer base for all of that. So I can guarantee you that that setup works fantastically. We've used that several times in professional environment, and it's amazing. I'll show you a couple of examples of internationally awarded guitarists that are very good friends of mine that we recorded using this setup. So well, that concludes everything I have to say for this little chat that we have. And should you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. And yeah, please stay safe, keep practicing, and do watch all of the conferences that Antigone and Michele have organized. Every single one of them are exceptional artists that I deeply admire and respect. Well, thank you for your time. Stay safe.